I suggest a new strategy, Artyom.
Only different in your mind.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
How's my hair look this week? A little bit better?
Yeah, not as comb-over-y.
Good. I know I had it trimmed down. What you guys up to today?
Meal prepped. Randall cleaned his garage, and that was about it.
Nice. Yeah. Today's my first day for vacation, so I was nice and lazy for the first 7 hours of the day.
Hey, it's a good start to a vacation.
Yeah. So, but I got everything that I need for my trip, and I've got everything prepared. I got the rental car ready, the hotel, everything. So, I'm gonna have to get a little desk so I can have like a legit setup like you.
I use my dresser, and I just turn it.
I know. I think I'm gonna get an iPad or like use the laptop so that the quality's a little bit better.
That's why I use the laptop, so I can have all the fancy stuff. Because I can't have the fancy stuff. It's just on my phone.
So, how was your week of working out? I mean, I know it's only been like what? How many days has it been since we've shot last? 5?
When did we shoot? Wednesday? Yeah, like 4. 4 days.
Good. Did you have some good workouts?
Yeah, I kind of took almost like a deload week, but I think next week I'm going to do what you're doing and not necessarily work out, like maybe super lighter body weight, but I mostly want to just do cardio to give since I haven't really taken, I think, a break off, and I don't even know how long. It's been a couple months, yeah.
Definitely smart.
So I'll do like some stair steppers or something just to get movement in.
I'm going to train a little bit tomorrow, and then I'm going to take Tuesday through probably Saturday, maybe even Sunday off, and just have like a solid week, and then kind of just go crazy on Monday with like cardio and everything, and just kind of go balls to the wall and see what I can do in 2 months, 2.5 months before my birthday.
That's what I'm doing. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take this week off, take it easy, and I'm just going to go for it.
Nice. I had some really good lifts, though, this week. I had a really good leg day. I think I posted a picture, so I felt really good. I feel like my legs are coming back.
Get strong.
I do feel like I'm getting strong, so... But more or less, I feel like I can like actually catch a pump and actually like enjoy the workout, like even if I'm limited on time, I don't have nobody else to worry about. So I'm just kind of like in there, just like,
doing your thing
real quick. Yeah. So it's been good. I was thinking about our, last week's, top 5 favorite. Did you happen to ever think about your top 5 most hated characters?
Yes, I actually did. I finished it today, which made me realize that this list was a lot harder because there's not a lot that I don't like.
Yeah. And not necessarily like you hate them, you absolutely hate them. Because like I was thinking more along the lines of like, they're just like they either didn't get enough screen time or like they didn't get enough background story, so it's like you kind of just don't care about them. You're like, who cares about, say like, I don't know. I feel like Imbo in the Clone Wars, who's a bounty hunter, I feel like he got more of a backstory than Danger did, or Bosk, or IG 88,
Yeah.
I'm just like, But then again, I mean, they were just background characters in Empire Strikes Back came out, so therefore it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
So
They're very minimal characters.
So you're gonna do a deload week though this week?
Yeah. So I think I'm just going to do like 15, 20 minutes on stair stepper, nothing crazy, just to get some movement in.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe some body weight. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not, but. And then after that, just go.
That's good. I've been doing different movements too. Like I saw, like I've been challenging myself and trying different things out to see how my body responds. So like just switching up just my normal routine and not going in there and just doing like, side
Same
lateral, rear delt, front delt. Yeah, like I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's really just taxate the middle delt this time and then, see how it feels. So I feel good. I feel real good. I went to the chiropractor and got adjusted. He suggested acupuncture, so I'm gonna look into acupuncture just because like the tendon that rolls over the shoulder doesn't feel like it's sitting properly. So I'm like, man.
I definitely want to do acupuncture
And
one
then
day.
it was fun. Yeah, I know, because it was funny because then Chris tells me today when I seen him at the gym, he's like, it's just old age, bro. It's just old age. And I'm like,
You're all.
because I feel good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel good. And then it's like, once I warm up and I'm in there for like 20 minutes and like blood is flowing to it, like it feels okay. Because I was like, no, I'm like, nothing. If something was torn, I wouldn't be able to, bench 225.
No way.
Or or curl. I think the other day I was curling like 80 pounds, which isn't much, but I wouldn't be able to do that if something was torn, is what I'm getting at.
It would hurt a lot too.
Yeah. Have you received any comments, if anybody, off of the couple of episodes so far?
Not too.
Michael reached out to me and said that it was cool to see the difference between like a younger generation Star Wars fan and then an older generation, because we are 10 years apart, so like my era of Star Wars is different than your era of Star Wars, so it is kind of cool to see like the different perspectives,
And that we can still mesh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But it was pretty cool because he's like, yeah, I listened to it on my road trip. So I was like, well, that's what's up. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it.
He needs
And
to
then
make a
like,
whole channel.
I know, of all his travels.
I need to see it all. I'm gonna tell
I
him
know.
that.
I'm definitely jealous that he went to Iceland.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
After we shot last Wednesday, I definitely felt really vulnerable with how much I opened up.
It was good though. You'll like it.
So I was like, oh damn, because I'm quiet and reserved.
But I feel like the more we do this, the more comfortable. Because I've noticed just from first, second, third, you kind of open up more.
Yeah, I guess. Who knows? This could be the second episode. I mean, I'm wearing the same shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like, from the gym to shooting the podcast to I'm going to put Star Wars on the background and clean my house before I leave. So.
Sounds like a great night.
You got to live by the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
There you go.
Yeah. So
I don't think I've heard of that.
But that's what I live by. I've preached it before. You were just hating me because you were in the middle of having to do your sets that you didn't want to do.
Say most likely. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So, what do you feel has been the most challenging with working out by yourself as of late?
Motivation. Mm-hmm. Which I mean,
because you don't have somebody there.
Yeah, like I feel like that's everybody's struggle. And some people though thrive when they're working out by themselves. But I think I got so used to you and I for so many years doing it. So especially when I first moved out here, I was like very gun ho about it. And then gradually as time went on, I was like, I didn't have anyone there like pushing me, I guess. So like I have to push myself now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And what did you do to combat that?
I pretend other people are competing with me. I pick somebody out. I'm like,
Nice.
you.
That's why like I'll randomly message you and be like, good.
Yeah, right. But that still sticks in the back of my head. I'm like, just one more.
The trigger words. What are your trigger words from us training together?
Good. One more rep. One more set.
What about 555?
Okay, so that popped in my head actually the other day. I was doing leg press. And I was like, what did he used to make me do? I was like, oh, he used to make me do 555s. Like, on everything.
Or some half reps.
I'm actually going to start throwing those back in.
Yeah. I did it today with a side lateral. I would do like half a rep slow and controlled, and then pause briefly, come down, and then go for a full extension. And by like the 7th rep, it is burning. And man, it felt so good. Yeah, so very taxating. So I've been challenging myself as well of like trying to lift heavier towards the end when I am a little bit more tired and fatigued, as opposed to when you're like first working out and you are the strongest and you have the most energy. Like I kind of been exerting myself and then really challenging myself, like even like with bench. Just because I'm back up to 225 doesn't mean I'm jumping straight into it. Like I'll go do a ton of other work and then I'll put 225 on the bar and see how it feels. Because yeah, you can lift it in the beginning, you're your strongest. You haven't, exerted yourself at all. So it's like, let's see what it's like when you are tired. You've been there for an hour and 10 minutes already and you just want to go home or drink a shake, and then now you're sitting there and you're like, damn, I'm gonna put this weight on this bar and see how many times I can lift it.
Yeah, I need to do that because I have noticed myself when I get tired, I'm like, I'll just do 5 pounds, 15 pounds.
Yeah, gotta up them numbers.
I know, rookie numbers.
Yeah. Did you see PowerCon is coming out there to Ohio? That's like the new place that it's at.
No.
Yeah. So PowerCon started off in like the LA area as like a He-Man convention, but it's turned into like an actual con with not just He-Man, but it's going to be out there. I think it's going to be in Columbus.
I'm not too far from that. America's Mightiest Toy. August 11th through
when
the 13th.
Is the next date? Yeah, you're going to be gone though, huh? The week before?
No, we're leaving the last day of August. But I probably couldn't take off that much time off work.
Yeah. Somebody's got to scan those people in.
I know, right?
You're like, somebody's got to yell at them for not picking up their weights.
I just go do it in front of them, make them feel bad.
I know when I came into the gym today, it's Sunday, so it's not staffed. There was bars all over the ground, and I was like, man, dude, I was going to pick them up, but then also I only had like 40 minutes. So I was like,
I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, but there was literally bars everywhere. I was just like, my goodness, people, pick up your stuff.
So frustrating.
Yeah. It's like, have good gym etiquette,
So many people don't, though.
Not at all. Not at all. So, you want to start your 5 most hated Star Wars characters?
My handy dandy list right here. Okay, starting at 5. I'd put
Mm-hmm.
Jabba at 5 because he's just gross. He's a slug. That's the only reason why he's 5. He has a huge part in the story, but he's just gross looking.
What about all the other huts?
Yeah, they're all gross. We'll just put them all together. Like when they come on their little, what is it, pedestal, and they're walking them through. Like, come on.
Yeah. The gangsters of the
Yeah.
galaxy for sure.
I mean, it's cool seeing other ones, but like you had to make them slugs.
Yeah. So my number 5 would be Jar Jar Binks.
Shocker. You old people don't like him.
I know. You know, it's a funny story too. So my brother, when we were younger, he got like a Jar Jar Binks like toy, and it was an alarm clock, and it was creepy as hell because you could program it, right, and it would talk. But it would literally sit there and go off and talk at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning,
No.
and it wasn't programmed,
That's like
and
those
it would just
Furbies.
because it'd be like. It was so creepy. Like, I was like, hell no. Like, the first time, like, because we had shared a bedroom, and first time I heard it, like, I told my mom, and my mom's like, oh, Junior, you probably just set the time wrong, this, and that. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, it's not, and she's just like, no. And then I was just like, no. So then I was like, fine, I'm not going to leave it in the room. I'm going to leave it somewhere else, and the scene's just talking the whole time. And she was like, take the batteries out of it and get rid of it. And my brother was like, no, I don't want you to throw my Jar Jar away, and I was like, forget that. I'm throwing it away.
A possessed
I
Jar
was
Jar
like,
clock.
yeah, literally. Because it was like the actual doll, and it was like 3 feet tall, you know? So
Oh
I was
no.
like, yeah, I ain't gonna have no little Gungan running around like Chucky.
They should make a movie like that.
I was like, oh hell no, nope, nope, nope. So who's your number 4?
Gar Saxon. Because he's a douche.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. You know what's so funny though? Not to stop you, but I was just talking about Gar Saxon.
Well, he's a douche.
Literally, probably about an hour ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
because
he's just a douchey character.
it's so funny. He is a douche. He is a douche for sure. For sure. But that's like his role though, That's his
Personality.
yes. Yes. Yeah, it's funny though because it's like so I went to GameStop. I just stopped in real quick before I went to Walmart, and there's like the vintage collection figures set aside, and they've just got my name on them.
Of course.
And they're like, do you want these? And I was like, oh, I have 2 of each of these already. Like, I'm good. But then I was like, should I buy a third one? And then we were talking, one of the characters was the Gar Saxon character, but they don't, on the actual figure, they don't name him that. They just name him a super commando captain. Um, and I was like, maybe it's for like licensing reasons. Like the actor who portrayed him didn't give away his rights, because
Like,
that's like one
right.
of the reasons why. Yeah, because that's one of the reasons why we don't have the Token sisters, Tolkien. I probably butchered it. The 2 sisters from A New Hope. They're one's like in green and one's in blue. They've got like brunette hair, and they're in the cantina scene. Um, the whole reason we've never gotten an action figure of them is because they never signed over their rights for the likeness. And now that Star Wars is a $1 billion company, they wanted to try to negotiate like a ridiculous amount. And so them and Hasbro can't come to terms with an agreement. So we're never going to get these action figures.
Should have
So,
just done it in the beginning.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. But see, they didn't know what was going to be popular back then. So it was just like they didn't have nobody sign over their rights
Yeah.
back in the first movie for to develop. It's like if you're a person in a prosthetic suit like Guido or Hammerhead or any of those characters, that's why they just gave them those generic names and just ran with it, and then they didn't have to pay nobody because, well, your likeness isn't being used.
Yeah.
So, you ready for my number 4?
Yes.
Jar Jar Binks.
No. You could not have him as 5 and 4.
He's 3, 2, and 1.
Cold.
No, I'm just totally kidding. Number 4 would have to be like Bosk. And the reason why I say that is I know so many people love him, but like you just, again, like I get it, like you didn't really get to do nothing with him because of, he was just a background character, but like it's just so much wasted potential, And a fun fact that some people may not know, his yellow flight suit that he wears in A New Hope is actually reused from an old Doctor Who episode.
Huh. See, I didn't know that. I've never seen Doctor Who.
It's quite a good show. It's definitely a good show.
One day.
I mean, it's got what? You're going to have to dedicate like a whole summer to watching it, though, because there's so many episodes.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know it was that big.
yeah. I mean, you could start. Yeah, it was in black and white when it first came out.
Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's been around for like 60 years, like 60, 70 years, I want to say. I'll probably need somebody to fact check
so the
me,
old people
but
like it.
yeah. Yeah. That's why I don't have my glasses on, because, I'm old, so I can't, I don't want to get motion sickness from being so close to the screen.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Who's your number 3?
Reva. However you say her name. From Kenobi. Wasn't a fan of her character.
Oh, agree.
I feel like that was a waste of potential too. They could have made her so much better. And they just, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard to take her as a villain when she is very soft.
Yes.
And pretty. So it is hard to take her as a villain.
Like even when she's trying to be tough and like hard, it was just very like hard to believe that. I'm like, are you that mad?
Yeah. And just, I don't know, the anger didn't come off as anger. Mm-hmm. It didn't come off as genuine anger. But I mean, like, who knows? Like, maybe she'll get another story somewhere along the lines. It would be cool, and maybe they could do her some justice if, like, the little Star Wars shorts that they have. Give
her some background.
Yeah, like show her, like they could do like a cut scene where it's like her in younger years where she's scavenging, you know what I mean? And like she's, on the streets trying to fend for herself and like survive. And then it could end with like the Inquisitors finding her at that point, and then maybe you would be a little bit more convincing of her, her hatred.
Yeah. Yeah, because it wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Mine would be, number 3 would have to be Paz Vizsla.
I almost put him on my list. I was this close.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And like, the reason why like I hated him so much was because it was like his arrogance and his cockiness. Like just made him just like somebody that I was just like, dude, like you could have had more power and you could have had it all, but you allowed your cockiness and your anger and
Went
your
all to his head.
blindness let you. Yes, and then he lost it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, he's my number 3 for sure. Like he could have, done something had he not been so arrogant.
Yep, I agree. He didn't make my list, but he was this close.
You're like, he was an honorable mention.
Yeah, basically. So for my number
Mm.
2, I have 2. I cheated a little bit, but I put Ray and Rose together. One, because Ray, like I've always said, I feel like she just didn't have enough character development. They just messed her whole character up. She had potential, but it just, yeah, they just kind of crossed over that. And then Rose, I feel like, had just no reason to even be there. Like, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd put Rose as my second
Yeah,
as
she was just
well.
kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a whole, that whole movie like just didn't make sense.
No.
And I know that I've briefly like talked about it with you, but it's like, so in any of the movies, if you go A New Hope to Empire Strikes Back, there's a few years that gap out those movies, and then there's a few years between A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, you know, so there's time for a bunch of development. I felt like the one thing that I didn't like about The Last Jedi was it was just a continuation of episode 7. Like it should have been episode 7 part 2 because of how
Yeah.
fast they cut straight into it. And there's no time for Ray to develop. All of a sudden, she's just got all these, she's one with the force. And how? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
out of the
took
blue.
others years to develop their skills, and then it's just like boom. Had there been a couple of years in between those two movies, it would have been a little bit more plausible.
Like, even with
If
Grogu,
is that the right
how,
word?
like in Mandalorian, it had been a couple years, even though we didn't see his training. Like, it's like, okay, so he's had 2-3 years of training. Like, makes sense. But Ray, it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
did this all come from? And it irritates me too, because like
Yeah.
even Mark Hamill was like, "This is not Luke Skywalker. Like, why aren't you listening to people who literally created these characters and who know these characters?" But you're like, "No, no, no. This is him. This is how it's gonna go." He's grumpy.
Yeah. Yeah. Now maybe like if Disney pulls their head out of the dirt and like creates like some lore, whether it be animated comic books, something along those lines that show you how devastating it was for him. Maybe he'll be more believable if you were to go back and watch the movie, like say in like 5 to 8 years, like if they come out with more content for it. But for
Yeah.
now, it's just one of those scenes where it's like, it doesn't, it feels like it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. Like it just doesn't mesh. And
And
I
all we
felt like
got
it was
was
rushed.
the flashback of him and Ben when that makes no sense. We had a tiny little flashback. I'm like, that's why he's mad. You're telling me that whole reason that's why he's how he is now. Like, unless you gave us more context,
Yeah.
maybe. But that small little flashback, no.
Yeah. But yeah, Rose would be number 2 just because that whole thing just didn't make sense.
No. Her
You
character
know.
made no sense.
So yeah. Like that whole heist to break out, his character and that like you could have it would have worked more in a TV series
Yeah.
because that could have been a dedicated episode. But as just this random adventure throughout the movie, it's like, you know,
It's like, why?
yeah. Do you want to do an honorable mention?
I don't really have any because this was so hard for me to make. Those are really what I got's what I got. That's why I put Ray and Rose together because Yeah.
Okay. My honorable mention would be the little kid from the end of episode 8, The Last Jedi. Because realistically, what was the point of him?
I don't think I remember him.
Exactly. What was the point of him? Was his name Ryan Johnson? Is that the one that directed that movie, right?
I think so.
Was it just him was it him trying to pay homage to a younger generation of like, see, there can be a Jedi in any of you if you just apply yourself? Because it's just like at that point, Jedi are myth. So it's like, how would you even know how to use the Force? You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, I was like, F that little kid and his little
Yeah.
broom skills. And then
I
he's
totally
got the
don't remember
stupid,
him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
I'll have to
movie
go
was a
back and,
blur.
and see it. Like go all the way back to the ending just to see him.
Yeah. Who's your number one?
So this one, I don't think anyone will ever agree with me on this one, but Count Dooku. I don't like his character. I don't like Christopher Lee playing him. I just don't like him. Never have.
Why? Why?
I don't know. There's something about him that's always bugged me. In the second movie, I don't like Christopher Lee playing that character, and I just don't like that character at all. I don't know why. I never know why. Just something about him.
Even after watching the Tales of the Jedi and seeing a younger version of him,
Mm-hmm. Still bugs me. Don't know. I mean, it
okay.
made more sense for his character. It gave a little bit more, but I don't know. I don't like his character. He annoys me or something.
Hmm.
Very unpopular
No,
opinion.
yeah. No, I get it. No, I get it. You ready for my number one?
Yes. Better be good.
Bum, bum, bum.
And you
My
can't say
number
Jar
one
Jar.
person, I was Hayden Christensen as Anakin
No.
Skywalker.
No. No. No, you don't mean that. No. No. That's not
I
your
just wanted
first.
to get a reaction. I just wanted,
Okay.
I just wanted to get a reaction out of you.
I was
Clip
about to
it.
say. My heart
You're
stopped.
all in call. No,
And we're done with this episode.
you're like, well, so we're going to be going solo after this week, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay tuned.
Taking a new direction.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I would, for my number one, it was a toss up because, um, one, they didn't get very much screen time for one of them. So I was like, I kind of don't like this one. And then the other one, I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for this, but Grogu.
Really? Is it just because everyone
Yeah.
loves him too much? There's just too much of him.
I think it's oversaturating everything.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Um,
it did take away from
it,
the Mandalorian because it was never about the Mandalorian.
yeah. And it's just one of those scenes where it's just like, um, I enjoy the character. I'm sure like later on down the line, like I'll come to like him a little bit more, but it's just for right now, like, I don't know.
It's money.
Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've enjoyed it. I have a couple of Grogu action figures, but just seeing the saturated market has really made me just not like him or not be a fan of him, I should say.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. Because he did take over.
Yeah.
Because everyone
Yeah.
complains about
So,
Mandalorian taking over Boba Fett, but I'm like, no one complains about Grogu taking over Mandalorian.
yeah. And honestly, I don't think, Din Djarin took over Boba by any means. But with the powers that may be, them trying to make everything, it, I can see where people say that, because,
Yeah.
his show by himself, the highest rated episodes are the ones with Mandalorian inside of them. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we've had both of our firsts were very unpopular opinions.
And I'm sure some people are going to comment and be like, "Oh, I love him, this, and that." And it's just like, and don't get me wrong, like if you there, the Mandalorian brought a lot of fans to the Star Wars franchise that were never fans before.
Yeah.
And Grogu contributed to that, but in the same aspect, like, I don't know, man. It's just like you can't go anywhere without seeing him. And I'm sure, like, as time goes on, I'll end up liking him because it was something similar with Jar Jar as well. You know,
Yeah.
you like, even looking back at like '99 when like all the figures came out, there were so many different random Jar Jar Binks themes, and it's like the story centered around young Anakin and a young Obi-Wan, and there's only one Obi-Wan action figure, one Anakin action figure, one Qui-Gon Jinn action figure, and 5 different Jar Jar Binkses.
That is so true. But I guess
You
aim for the
know?
kids.
Yeah, no, I get it. I
Making
get it.
money.
Yeah, I'm still not buying no Grogu stuff.
There is tons of Grogu stuff though. What do I my robe's
No,
Grogu.
I know there's tons of it. Even when I went to my grandma's house up in Washington, she has a Grogu in her living room, like next to her plants, like a stuffed plush.
Because he's cute.
But yeah, those are my top 5
That's not bad.
of all time. I think next week, yeah, I think next week too, we should rank our favorite to our least favorite movie.
I like that. Let me write it down
And
so I can
maybe
do my homework.
we'll do top 3.
Rank
Cuz what?
movies.
Well, so what? There's 8 movies plus Solo plus what? Rogue One plus what would you consider? So
Isn't that all the
I
movies?
don't know why I'm trying to count. I have all the movies sitting in my living room right now, so
I think that's all the
I'm like,
movies.
shit.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 movies?
Yeah.
11 movies?
Yeah.
11?
Did you watch The Flash?
No. We still haven't seen it. Did you see it?
Mm. Yeah, I went the other day.
Was it good?
Alina was supposed to Alina was supposed to go with me, and then she ended up falling asleep. So I was like,
Wonder where
well,
she gets
I'm
that
already
from.
over here, so I went. But it was so nice too, because it was like I was the only person in the movie theater until like 15 minutes after it started, and then like a bunch of little kids came in and they were being so loud and annoying. I was like, oh god, don't be that old guy that yells at them. But it was just like, dude, I was like, quit jumping around on the stairs. Like, either come in or go out. Don't just keep coming in and out. But the movie was good. It definitely was interesting. I didn't like the CGI in the beginning.
That's what people
Um,
complained about, I saw. Without they've kind of given up on the whole
yeah.
CGI thing.
Yeah, and like I was just like, I'm like, how is Marvel doing such a good job at their CGI when it comes to their low budget shows? And this, big budgeted Warner Brothers movie has such crappy quality CGI. And then
That's a
Eric
bummer.
yesterday at work said that it's supposed to look comic booky.
Yeah, then make it a comic book.
Yeah, I was like, well, then do it animated. But
Yeah.
it was just the beginning scene I didn't really care about. But I liked the story. I liked the plot. They did a really cool homage at the end. I won't spoil it for you, but it was
So
really,
do
really cool
not.
to see.
We'll
It
have to
was
go
really
next
cool
weekend
to
for
see.
sure.
And you already know Michael Keaton's in it, so
Pretty excited about that.
yeah, so it was like super nostalgic to see him, and I just kept going, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. As I'm drinking my Gatorade,
I was like,
I was
speaking of
laughing so hard.
Batman, when I was meal prepping today, I rewatched Batman Beyond Return of Joker, that movie, and it made me think
Hmm.
of such a great movie. But same with like Star Wars, the difference with the originals and the prequels. Like me, I was like 8 when that movie came out, and I was obsessed. I watched it like on repeat all the time, and everybody hated it. But me being 8, I was like, this is cool. Batman's old. There's another Batman. Then we got Harley Quinn's granddaughters. They're the bad guys. And it was just like, and then Mark Hamill's Joker. Like, it just brought me back
Yeah,
to my childhood. Such a good movie, in my opinion.
yeah. That's cool. Nerd.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. You're like, says somebody that sleeps with Star Wars blankets.
I was about to say, have you seen your room?
No, I don't have Star Wars blankets. I was just kidding. Listen, it's all
Uh-huh.
boxed up, as you can see over my shoulder right there.
Right.
So, and I was like, if I get a larger bed frame that raises my bed higher, I can start getting smaller totes to fit more figures
To
under
get
my
under
bed.
there. You're planning your
Or I'm just
bed
gonna have to
around
rent
your figures.
I might just have to rent a second house just to have store all my figures. You know,
Y'all,
you know
today I'm
how
going to go to
like
my figure house.
you know how like drug dealers have trap houses. I just got a collection house.
Yeah, yeah. Meet me at my collection house where we
Yeah,
collect things.
you just walk in, just 4 bedrooms full of figures from roof to floor.
You probably make money off that. Do a museum walkthrough.
Yeah,
Like, I bought
I
this
thought
in
about actually.
1999, back in my day. Notice how I only have these characters, but no Jar Jar Binks. There's a reason.
I don't even think I own a Jar Jar Binks, to be honest with you. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've been a lot more selective on my collecting lately. You know, before I was just like, I want one of everything. And then, like, for a
Mm-hmm.
while, I was like, I'm only going to get super articulated figures. I didn't like the figures that, like, had the swivel elbow instead of the full articulation. So, like, I was very picky with what I got. And then, you know, for a time being, I was like, oh, I'm going to collect all of this or I'm going to collect all of that. So now I've been a little bit more selective and I haven't really purchased as many things as I've wanted. Um, but with that being said, I have purchased quite a bit.
Haven't purchased as much as I
So
wanted, but I have purchased a lot.
yeah, and plus I've been buying other stuff too that I've wanted that's nostalgic for myself. So
Yeah.
you know, but it's funny too. I was thinking about it earlier because you know everybody's always surprised when they come over. They're like, "Holy poop! You collect?" Or like when they get to know me, like if you were to judge me by the way that I look, you wouldn't think that I collect
No,
action figures.
no, not at
So
all.
um, everybody's always everybody's always shocked, you know. So and I always wondered why I get funny looks when I'm down the toy all by myself. You know, it's probably because of the way that I look.
Probably.
But I was thinking about it though. I've always collected, like ever since I was younger. You know, I've always like I kept like all my stuff in nice condition. Like I would open it and it would literally just sit in a box. And like me and my little brother would play with it every once in a while. but like I kept everything as like collectors. Like I had like 1989 Ninja Turtles like still in the box. You know, I had like Predator and Alien figures still in the box and stuff like that. So it's just like, for me, I've always had a love of collecting, and I never really realized it. Like, even like, I remember being like a freshman in high school, and like, that's when I started to phase out of it. And like, I didn't collect as much, but you know, it was like, I wanted to, you know, like, I was doing sports and I wanted to hang out with my friends and stuff like that. So it was like the money that I did have, like I chose not to spend it on figures or anything like that. But like I didn't prioritize it. And then not until, you know, like the early 2000s did I really start prioritizing it, and like just made it like something that like I've just naturally done. And like looking back at it, me and the girls would go on hunting trips. You know, I remember Angelina being like, you know, 3, 4 years old, and Zoe's a baby. And like, we're literally sitting there, and I'm like, you want to go hunting? And they're like, yeah, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
Well, Angelina, because, you know, Zoe was just, she was just drooling on herself. But like, we would literally get in the car and like, we would go to Chico, and like we would shop at all the stores to look for figures, and then we would drive to Yuba City, and we would go and we would stop at all the stores. So like we would go to Walmart here in town, we'd go to Chico, we'd go to Toys R Us, Kmart, Target, Walmart, you know, and then we would drive all the way down to Yuba City, and we'd do the exact same thing, and then we'd go to Lincoln, and we would make a whole day of it, and it was so fun. And it's just like, it's a memory that I'm going to have with my kids. And one day they'll look back and be like, oh yeah. Cause like the tradition's even carried on now. You know, my daughter's going to be 21 here soon. And anytime she goes to Roseville, she always stops at the stores out there to check for figures for me.
That's so cute. That's awesome.
So it's just one of those, yeah. So it's just something that like, it's memories that I've created with my children. So it's more sentimental than just the thrill of the hunt.
I feel like when I was a kid, I
Yeah.
collected a lot of things, even just like rocks. But I collected a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean figures, Nightmare for Christmas figures, just like everything. And then I phased out too, and then I just never got back into it because I know myself. I started a little bit with those Funko Pops. I have like 3 or 4. I have 3 Robin ones, a Riddler one, I think a Batman one, and I had to stop because I was like,
Yeah.
this is already going to be a problem. I already know, and I don't want to spend money on it. But maybe one day I'll get into it. But
Yeah.
I just don't have room.
Yeah. No, I know,
Yeah.
and that is the problem that I have
And then,
come
yeah, see
into
you.
is
It's like you have no room, no,
because
you have
now,
all these things.
yeah. So, and then it was like, you know, in 2020, Masters of the Universe came back out, and like it was super nostalgic for me. And like being that kid who grew up with He-Man, and like, um, I have like this very vivid memory of being like 5 years old, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and I'm on the ground, and I've got my Skeletor, and I've got my battle armor He-Man, and I'm fighting with them, and I'm like, oh fuck, He-Man, blah 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 blah, and I'm like cussing, and my mom's like, if in the kitchen, like, Junior, you need to stop cussing, and I'm like, I'm not cussing, and then, you know, a couple seconds later, I'm like, oh fuck, and then she's like, I told you to quit cussing, and I'm like, it's not me, Mom, it's Skeletor.
I swear, it's the toy.
But it's so funny that like, you know, like I'm going to be 40 this year, and like I have this memory from 35 plus years ago that still is there. um so now like my Star Wars passion has like shifted over to other things, and now I'm kind of like, you know, I'm sitting here, and now I have all this Motu stuff, and I'm like, all right, at this point you need to stop, like pick what you want to collect and only collect that.
Yeah, that was my problem as a kid. I
But
had too many things, and I just got out of hand.
yeah, literally. Yeah, because I remember like wanting to collect like all the Robin Hood figures from like when um what's his name? Kevin Costner? Was that who played Robin Hood?
I don't remember. The fake
I
British
think it
guy?
was him. Yeah. And then and what was it called? Morgan Freeman played that one dude. I forgot his name.
I don't
But
think
I
I've seen
wanted
that
all
one.
those figures. Yeah, well, I wanted all those figures because they were retooled figures from Star Wars. Like the Friar Tuck was a Gamorrean guard from Jabba's palace. The body was literally
Oh,
taken from the Gamorrean guard and then given a different face. And his like treehouse playset was the Ewok playset. And I remember being young and like seeing these scenes and recognizing them and being like, darn, I want to collect these now because I can use them both. Like I enjoyed the movie and I could play with these when I was a kid, but then I could also use them for my Star Wars scenes because technically they are like Star Wars toys. They just got repurposed because a lot of the toy companies redo that.
yeah.
Um, so I've always, but like just to go back, is I've always had a fondness of collecting. Um,
It's a Virgo thing.
nobody knows, but I mean now everybody will know.
Yeah, right? Whole world, the whole internet.
It's just going live on YouTube and Spotify and Apple, and
Right?
nobody will see it. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
I however though don't collect the clothes. Like a lot of people collect stuff, and it's like a lot of people try to like play it safe, and they're like, "Well, we're just going to get him something Star Wars," and I'm just like, "Don't do it," because I'm very picky on what I like and what I
Yeah, I
want.
even know
So
that.
don't waste your money on getting me something.
I think I got you what? Did I
You
get you a
know.
pin?
So no, you got me shot glasses, but I still have them, and I
I thought I
like
got you.
those.
I
But
thought I
it's
got
like,
you a pin.
no, you got me socks, shot glasses. Oh, you got me like a pin, the
Yeah,
Padawan
yeah,
pin.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I got that. Yeah,
I
I
get you
have I
little
have it up
things.
there with no, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm talking about like this one time I had somebody get me like a gift, and it was just like, if I say the gift, the person is gonna know who it is.
Yeah. Don't want to call them out.
But let's just say when I got it, I was like, "What the f is this?" Like, really? It's
Oh my
just like,
gosh.
and then every time I'd look at it, I'd be like, "Man, I got you such good gifts, and you just got me this lame stuff."
I was just like,
I'm like, but I guess it's the thought that counts, right?
yeah. What would you say
I'm
about
like,
my
you would have
shot
been better
glasses?
off just buying me. Should have just bought me protein powder or pre workout because I would have enjoyed that more. So, have you heard of Olipop?
Yeah, I drink
I don't
those.
know if we've talked about this before. Did we talk about this before?
No, I don't think so. There's
Um,
Olipop and
the
there's
the prebiotic sodas.
yeah.
I'm digging them.
I don't know if it's the Olipop or it's the there's another one that I like more, but I can't remember the names. They have apple
Mm.
cider vinegar in them, but their orange one tastes so good.
Yeah, I have the orange squeeze Olipop. So, well, you guys better
I'm
go
up
watch the movie next week so I can so we can chat it up on it.
for sure.
So,
I'll make that priority.
yeah. Yeah. I got some tea for you too.
Oh shit. I like me some tea.
I know. So, it was so random, so random. But my legs are cramping. It's the only thing that like kind of sucks about hitting legs twice a week again is like they're sore 5 days out of the week.
Yep, that's they always sore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So, but we should end the call.
We're at about an hour. That's not bad.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I did not expect a couple of your um, top 5 that you don't care about or hate, whatever you want to call it.
Same with yours. Well, I didn't expect your first one at all.
Jar Jar Binks?
You would have made them all 5 anyways.
I've thought about that every time you were saying I was going to make Jar Jar Binks. And I actually thought about, like, every time I said it, giving another reason why I don't like him.
And this is reason, and this is reason, and number 3, this is reason.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally. I was going to. I thought it would have been hilarious, but then I was like, no, I'll be serious. So.
Keep it real.
But, yep. What is it? Like, comment, subscribe. Give us suggestions of something you may want us to talk about. Follow us on Instagram.
Comment on YouTube. What topics? Comment on Instagram topics. All the social media.
Yeah. Maybe we'll put out a poll of.
That's what I was thinking.
We'll do an Instagram poll and see what, like, we'll throw out 5 different things that people want us to talk about, and then whichever ones get picked the most, we'll elaborate on at least like 3 or 4 of them. So stay tuned. Yeah. And if you want us to comment, you got to follow us on Instagram. I am the 530 Gorilla.
I got it in the comments, bruh. Or the description.
Oh,
you didn't even read those, huh?
I was giving you. Huh?
So you don't even read those, huh?
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's the description. I got it linked down there every time.
Nice. I was trying to look for my Cobra Kai shirt too, but I don't know what I did with it.
You lost it.
Zoe has like 12 of my shirts. I'm not even exaggerating. Like,
I believe it.
every time she comes out of her room, she's wearing a different one of my t-shirts, and I'm like, that's my shirt. And she's like, oh, it is?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get off.
All right. Then
I'll send you a snap.